is given for the given circuit shown in part A. So this is part A. The time dependent input voltage V in. So here the input voltage V in are shown in part B and C. So part B, the waveform, or we can say the characteristics of input voltage is given with respect to voltage and time graph, and the output voltage at part C it is given. So identify the components that are used in the circuit between points X and Y. We need to identify the components which should be used between point X and Y among the four options that is given into options 1 to 4. Okay. So now if you want to see that they have a diode. So as we know that in diode this is a positive and this is negative direction. For the positive cycle only, we can say it is a forward bias. And as we know, for forward bias, the current can flow through the diode. But for the reverse bias, the current do not flow through the diode. Or you can say there will be no current flow through the diode in the reverse bias condition. Okay. Now next we can see the Zener diode. As we know, the Zener breakdown that it have an specific value, or we can say that in this case it will give a constant output voltage. So similarly the positive and negative. So for the first cycle, as you can see, for the input voltage, since this is the positive direction, negative direction, the diode are connected in oppositely. We can say the positive terminal, when the positive, say 20 volt is passing through the ideal diode, then it is a forward bias and it allows the current to flow. But when it is going to the Zener diode, here it have a reverse bias. That means reverse breakdown, we can have only 5 volt is as a output that is given to the part number C. Okay? That means there should be a voltage, or at between point X and Y there should be a diode which will be drawn in opposite way, so that the current could not be flow through the output. It should be open. When the current is for the positive half cycle, it is flowing through the two terminals. Next, for the negative half cycle, as you can see, then the ideal diode is a forward bias, sorry, it is a reverse bias. So in this case, there will be no current flow through these terminals, but there have a current flow that we can see as a minus 5 volt. So that means there should be a Zener diode which is connected like this, so that you will get a current. That means XY voltage. So that means we can say that between X and Y terminal, we have option number 2. Then we can summarize the answer again. For positive hype cycle, only the ideal diode is a forward bias and the current can flow through this. But since the generator have a 5 voltage, or generator have a breakdown voltage 5 volt, so that only 5 volt will be flowing, or 5 volt will be getting on the output. At that time, the output or XY component is an open circuit. Next, for a negative cycle, we can see the ideal diode is a reverse bias. That means no current flowing through this terminal. So that means all the current. So that means for this case, it is an open circuit and the current is flowing through the output terminal. So that's why there should be the diode is connected in positive and negative forward bias, so that the current can flow. But then also the Zener diode must be connected in such a way that you will get only 5 volt, minus 5 volt. That's why option number 2 is right. Thank you.